Yes. It is Wednesday. It is noon. That means, barring, of course, technical issues, which I didn't have any today, so I'm rather proud of myself.
Woohoo!
Way to go. The High Noon Hemp Show, live on the Temptations Beach Facebook page, also on the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, and on Twitter at Temptations, of course, on demand on all those places. And audio version, podcast, that's on Podbean, Google Play, iHeartRadio. No excuse for missing a show, either visually or audibly. That's not a word. Auditorily. I don't know. With
Hmm.
sound only. There you go. I am Joe
Audibly?
Clare.
Audibly. Actually,
Audibly. There you
audibly
go.
is a word, I believe. Audibly.
Joe Clare is me. Am I? You can Google me. I do various things. He is Beach, high above the Temptations in Sharonville at the Hemp Quarters. How are things in hunker down mode at Temptations Beach?
Spectacularly clean, I will say. We are doing our part in the world to stay clean. We are staying open. Obeying all the general rules. I think all the employees are 6 feet apart. And I'm giving these general rules out to everyone. If you don't know this, then you must be in a cave somewhere and you don't care about the coronavirus. It's true. I'm Beach. That's Joe. We're the High Noon Hemp Show. It is high noon on a Wednesday, so that means we are live all over the place, and we're happy to have everyone. As I am self-quarantined all the time. I'm so self-quarantined, I don't even have any windows in my office. And so, you know, I make it so my barrier has to be 6 foot every day. No matter who comes in my office, they're 6 feet away from me. So
And there you go. And we're
play
about
by these
15 miles
rules to
apart
begin
right now,
with.
so
That's
about as good as
right.
it gets.
And everyone else is probably at the comfort of their home or at work. Hopefully, if you are home with this, that it doesn't cause too much financial issues or things like that. I do have to,
Uh-oh. Little glitches. A little bit of freezing beach.
and so I
There we
saw
go.
that just for a second.
There we go. Beach is back.
But yeah, I'm back. And so, I do, the restaurant is here. So, try to support them any way you can. I don't know in ways to do that, but try to consider, I know the carry out thing. So, do carry out if you feel
Indeed.
comfortable with that. Get delivery, from your local place where you go a lot. If you can, to continue to support those places. Like I said, we're doing everything we can to keep clean. That's the best we can do. I just ordered a bunch of hemp soap for the employees, and we have alcohol out, and we have bleach water out, and we're cleaning everything as much as we can, so we can do our part here at Hemptations. Keep the world rolling best we can through this most unprecedented time. I will say that.
And that it is.
It is, it's a weird, strange times in the world, but we'll get it all worked out together. It's a quieter place for those introverts. Like I think I said last week, this is like the way we want the world to be run. And I feel bad for the extroverts who are forced to be an introvert because it's got to drive them nuts. They want to be out doing stuff, and so anyway.
By the way,
Clean
yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. That's why I look like this, if anybody's
yes.
wondering.
No
We
one
look
got to get
ridiculous.
out and do much
Yeah.
for St. Patty's Day. I suppose I'm pretty bright green myself, and I didn't
Mhm.
do that for the same reasons, but it was kind of, I guess, subconsciously that
There you
I
go.
went with the super green myself. And so, yes, I hope that if you are Irish and you celebrate St. Patty's Day, that you stayed at home and got drunk with the vim and vigor of going out
Yes.
and getting drunk with the vim and vigor that most people go out and
You got
celebrate
so
St.
drunk you
Patty's
thought you
Day
were
with.
outside.
And so, everybody FaceTiming.
Yeah.
And I did predict to somebody that, right now, man, you drop an app that can make an unlimited amount of people have a conversation on it face to face, group app. I'm surprised Skype hasn't like done one for free right now just to promote their product and push a group communication. I know I'm FaceTiming with Beckett down in Lexington. They're on quarantine, as well, and so I'm trying not to mess around with it. But the FaceTime thing is going to get more action than anything right now. Anyway, that's not hemp. What are you guys here for? We're here for the High Noon Hemp Show.
Talking tech.
You know, I'm talking tech all of a sudden. That's not hemp. Although I'd like to see hemp used in tech. If you don't know, we could use hemp in graphene, which can be used in certain types of batteries. So it can be used. It's a big battery right now. Anyway, let's get on with the show. With the show, the High Noon Hemp Show. That's why you're here, right? That's why you're the product spotlight. We got some new products in, which is kind of cool. Always cool. Now we do have the Santa Cruz composite grinders. We only had really one or two styles, the top two, but now look at all the multiple colors of the Santa Cruz hemp composite grinder. And so if you have a need to grind spices or anything else, they're very inexpensive. I know that. I think it was $837 or something for a nice little made out of hemp. Once again, biodegradable, compostable. You take the sticker off the top ones, you throw it out in the yard when you're really done with it, and it'll break down and go back to nature as intended. And so it's eco-friendly and friendly to your environment. We also have a new line of soap. This is a local soap maker, custom made, so to speak, each batch made when I order it. And so we've got, I believe, 6 or 7 different styles or scents or makeups of the different soap. And so, right now, once again, keeping your hands clean, America, or the world, is something we have to do. And so we will definitely be keeping plenty of soap on the shelves as much as possible and promoting people to wash their hands a little bit more. We're on about 20 to 30 minutes. So the employees are implored to either go wash their hands after they've waited on a customer, or touched stuff that the customer may have touched, or just go wash their hands every 20 to 30 minutes. And so you need a lot of hemp soap for that. And so, we were joking that, soap was something that no one is hoarding. The toilet paper shortage thing was hilarious. It's over. Be done with it. Let the toilet, it's not going to be a tragic end to the world if you don't have toilet paper right now. But we didn't go out and hoard soap. When that's what they were saying from the very beginning, wash your hands. And so anyway, I thought that was, we were kind of half joking about that.
In the Facebook chat, Solomon says our show is pushed back. We're still going to make it happen. Great job, fellas. I don't know what show that is.
Oh, right on. Well, that is the April 18th. That's the April 18th event. And so, yes, I will keep everyone updated on the event that was going to happen on April 18th, where I was, as always, I am honored to be honored. I was being honored. I am being honored. Maybe it's not going to be April 18th. Yes. And so,
you're still honored.
Yes, I will keep everyone updated. I'll talk about that down in the events section here in a little while as well. The next product on the product spotlights, as I like to say, 4 from the store, 1 from my door. The next one is some new capsules that we just got in. The capsules are, as far as CBD, a form that people like a lot because you know exactly what you're getting. These are good because obviously they are also keyed to different areas where you have energy, sleep, or stress. And so, obviously the CBD is all in there, and then they're, putting some other stuff that's good for that other stuff to help you out. This is the original hemp. We just got these in maybe the last week or two. And as much as we're trying not to add new products, every once in a while we bring something in that I think the customers do have a want for, whether they know it or not. And the capsules are one of those forms. And then the last one from the store because if things get really bad, make sure you have bread at home. But bring out the old hemp peanut butter and jelly. So get into the stores, get yourself some hemp peanut butter and jelly. Make sure you get yourself a loaf of bread. I know there was somewhat of a shortage on that, even though I think everything's been stocked back up again when it comes to
Yeah, calm down, everybody.
that stuff. Yeah, I get it. It caused panic because they didn't clearly explain things from the beginning. And I'm not going to blame anybody there, but we know who to blame there. But
Very helpful
they weren't
government.
as clear as they should have been from the very beginning. They're on it. I get it. I mean, now I think that because they're really trying to save face as well.
Yeah.
They're making up for that, but and I don't think you need to. I think I shouldn't say this. I think it's always a good idea to have enough food in your house to survive for a couple of weeks. It's probably good to have enough backstock of water. Not everybody does that, but everybody should do that on a semi-regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
I still are at home, and so if there was a tragedy, I could have distilled the rainwater we had if I had to have drinking water. So I distill our tap water because our tap water is good stuff. We're supposed to have clean tap water, and you wouldn't believe what I distill out of our clean tap water. But anyway, and in food product as well, but and so you should always be prepared for this, for anything like this. You use it and then you get prepared. You use it, get whatever. Anyway, so there's the 4 from the store. We have stuff. We've got soap on the shelves. We've got food on the shelves. I truly wish someone would have come out with some hemp toilet paper before now, but unfortunately they've missed their prime moment to release it to the general public in the United States. But anyway, and the one from my door is actually, I know I've showed for, but it's long ago. We're 80 episodes in, so I'm finding it kind of hard point to come up with unique items that are mine as far as hemp goes. And so I'm kind of circling back around a little bit, but this is our hemp kitchen counter. If you don't know, if you've never seen this, we did this, I want to say it's probably been about 5 years ago. And it looks just like this now as from the day we did it, using the hemp press board. We're seeing more hemp wood come along. It's not necessarily like this hemp press board. There is some hemp press board out there, but we just sealed it. I do joke that the sealant that we used was probably as bad for the planet as the hemp was good, but we plan on using this hemp kitchen counter for as long as we can. And again, it has showed no wear, no tear, no damage, no water damage. We did seal the back piece. You can see in this picture, up the top picture, that we haven't sealed the back piece yet. But we sealed the back piece, sealed that to that, just like you would any kitchen counter. And boom, there it is, using hemp as a kitchen counter. And so this is, once again, an example of all things hemp can do, and it can do all things for most part. So there you go. In the product spotlight, 4 from the store, 1 from my door. You can still get into the stores. Like I said, we're taking every precaution to make sure that we're providing a clean environment, a safe environment, so you can come in and get the hemp products that you need, that we've been selling for 24 years now. And, I will have to say that, I feel good that we do provide things to our customers that they do need, not that they just want, that they do need. And so it's vital to me to stay open for them, and it's also vital for me to keep my employees clean and safe, and all of that as well. And so I'm very stressed But in the same sense, I'm relieved that we are kind of continuing to be able to operate status quo. Uh, you know, Even if we see a financial hit, to stay open and know that we do have stuff that the customers need and want. We're gonna do our part to get through this as much as anybody. And if I have to, we'll help. We will help in ways for those people that need help, that haven't been so lucky as to been able to keep their job or not be laid off or whatnot. And so, there's that. Thank you all for being here. It's not the end of the show. We're just to one of the favorite show, part of the show anyway. I know it's Joe's favorite part of the show.
Yeah, maybe people have other things on their mind right now. Maybe they're not as into the fashion part of life. But still, everything can't be coronavirus. Sometimes you got to worry about what you're wearing and how you look and how you're affecting the environment with what you're wearing and just looking good. I mean, there's just because things are weird right now doesn't mean you can't be styling, as the kids say. And of course, beach is always styling. That's why we have the segment, the beachwear segment, where we ask the most important question of the day: what are you wearing beach?
That's right. If you woke up today, even if you're in self quarantine, and you think I should still get dressed, get myself together, I got to go
That's
through
right.
that routine just to, you can't just sit around and not wear anything, or maybe you can work from home and
Mm.
do that. You say, what are you wearing, Beach? Well, I will have to say that I'm glad Joe reminded me yesterday was St. Patty's Day, so it's bright green. Um, as bright green as I can get it. And so on the old lid there, we got the grassroots normal hat, the hemp hoodlamp jacket, still chilly here, that's for sure. The hemp company Hemptations tee, printed here at Planet Everywhere. My Hempies belt, uh, for my forever faded jeans. And you can also see in my pocket there, as always, my Green Spring Technology hemp pen, which is always in my pocket with me. We've got the No Bad. I think I wore the same pair last week. It wasn't the same pair. It was a different pair, I'm sure, or it's been cleaned either way. Briefs. I love Bad briefs. I know they were the natural ones. I usually buy them in a 3-pack. Don't get concerned. Um, and we've got the Kind socks down there with the little water drop on them. And then I've decided I'm going to start busting out some of the Nikes that I have never worn on the show. So I've never worn these. And I know the shoestrings look yellow, but they're really fluorescent green. I don't know if they look yellow to everyone there. They definitely don't look as green as the green, but I feel like it's more of a fluorescent green than anything. And again, these are all the upper part, I believe, is hemp, except for the toe. But the swoosh is made out of hemp material, and then what's under the swoosh and the part around the front, that's all hemp material. Um, I very rarely wear these shoes. I don't, I just don't have a. I try to traffic, so I don't think I need to be wearing fluorescent cone-colored shoelaces. But anyway, so that's it. Whether you have to go out or whether you are going out, and most of us are not going out, it's good to get an idea what you want to wear. Hemp is still there. Maybe go look for a hemp outfit for the first day that we all get to go out and be social again and show it off. And so there you have it. What are you wearing, Beach? There it is. In lieu of St. Patty's Day and bright greenness, now you know. All
All right.
right. Well, we've got some news. We don't really have a whole lot of them. Actually, I'm not going to talk about any events because, again, most events are canceled,
Yeah.
or going to be canceled. I still have a list of events on the second page of the Hemptations website, but I do clarify that clarify to verify whether the event is actually happening, because the answer to that is probably no.
Yeah.
Most events across the country are just canceling to do the safe thing, nip this thing in the bud, I suppose. Um, and I was also saying what we're also going to see is we're going to see a drop in flu, drop in cold, and flu mortality. I bet flu mortality goes down. Um,
Yeah.
And this is flu season. This is peak flu season, if you don't know. But guess what? That's going to be down because everybody's keeping stuff clean and nobody's going out. And so, um, anyway, but there is still news. There is still stuff going on in the hemp world. So we've got some news to talk about before we get you guys back to your self-quarantining or whatnot. This I did send you over the pic of the Boro textile. Did I do that? Or did I forget to do that?
You did, and where did it go?
Okay.
I cannot find it. Well, that
Oh
is a
my gosh.
bummer.
You
That's
look
my
for
bad.
that, and I will roll on. I'll come back. Idaho killed a bill. 8-7 was the vote to legalize hemp, leaving Idaho and Mississippi as the last two states that have not legalized hemp farming. And Idaho's bill, I think, would have made it okay for hemp to come through the state, but I feel like because it didn't pass, somehow it's not safe to ship through the state of Idaho, which is going to be an interesting conundrum if that's true. But I do believe I read somewhere that because they killed this, then that makes shipping industrial hemp through Idaho illegal, even though you can still sell hemp products in the stores, from my understanding. So Idaho really needs to be educated. I think much like the governor of South Dakota needed to be truly educated. And they did the right thing after she was educated. They wrote a little bit different bill, but I think it was whatever. And then she was okay with it. Mississippi, I don't know anything about Mississippi's problem. To be honest, maybe they're holding out because do they still grow a lot of cotton in Mississippi? I don't know, but if they do, I wonder if that and I can't imagine how they would be that concerned about hemp fiber being grown as opposed to cotton in the South. But they must be. I'll have to check into why they're so miseducated as well. But there you have it, Idaho and Mississippi. Still two of the holdouts in the country for industrial hemp.
Very weird. I
Um,
did
yeah.
download the picture, but I forgot to upload it to my broadcasting software. And if I do so now,
Uh-huh.
I'm afraid I will destroy the stream. So I'm going to improvise a bit if I can here. Let me see if I can work this. And
And
then
we can
do
always
this
show it
like
next week.
this.
Oh, I see. Can you see it, folks? These are actually what's called a boro, and this is an exhibit called Boro Textile Sustainable Aesthetics. Well, these are all made, and you can see some in the back, and then the one in the front.
This is very poor.
I believe it's a
I apologize,
Japanese.
everyone.
That's all right. We'll show the picture next week. We'll get it up on the website when we're done here.
I'll make sure I post it on
But
social media for everyone to see what they were supposed to be seeing.
that's right.
There we go.
The key is this is a garment that's been around for a long time, and what they do is they actually mend together layers of old fabric and hemp to make these kind of what most people would call would be a patchwork shirt, which is what it is, And so this is once again shows how old hemp is, and the fact that they're reusing it. It's become something in Japan where there's so much, or there is what's being used is reused, and so as well as other fabric. And so it's good to see that they just don't take their old shirts and throw them in the trash. I suppose if you really do that, but that's what patchwork is all about. That's what you should do with old clothes is you should give them to someone that's going to make patchwork clothing out of them. And it doesn't matter if it's got holes and whatnot, torn up, whatever. Reusing is a good thing. We're all about it. The FDA's taking comments again. The main comment is FDA, stay out of CBD. Continue to do what you're doing as far as going after companies that are mislabeling or not being honest with what's in their product. I'm completely okay with that. But we don't need any help other than that. This is an all natural supplement. We need the FDA to stay out of it, other than, I keep saying, make it GRAS, so you can implore them to do whatever they need to do the studies that prove that it is generally regarded as safe. So that way they can we can put nutritional facts on a label if we can do that. You can't do that now. You can put CBD in a hemp food, so to speak, but you can't put a label on it that says CBD has this amount of this or that or whatever. That's because it has not been ruled GRAS by the FDA, which is generally regarded as safe, which is what all the foods we eat are. And so corn syrup included. Mm-hmm.
Some stuff is safer than others, I guess.
It's, that is faux show. And again, it's not a safe thing. It's a health thing, which is interesting. Just because it's safe for us to eat doesn't mean that it's healthy for us to eat. That's that's the craziest thing about all of that is we're all the general public is a little confused that just because it's safe to eat doesn't mean it's healthy to eat. It's about being on a good diet, not having a diet or calling your diet by a name. Your diet doesn't need a name. It just needs to be good. Include hemp food in that because hemp food is a great part of any diet. Get the facts. High protein, omega-6, omega-3, all the things that are great nutritionally, especially now because it's a high amount of protein, which we really need. And so if you're all holed up at home, you still need to get your protein. Get it with hemp. Eat hemp foods. Here's an interesting, I don't know who this person is, but they're called Biff Naked, and they're a Canadian musician. Yes, I know, great name, Biff Naked. Canadian musician, and they've just released an unlicensed CBD product, and it claims that it can defend against coronavirus. And so, Biff Naked, shut your mouth. Go back to singing. Stop ruining things for the rest of the CBD world. At the very least, CBD can help you with coronavirus if you're stressed about it. But it's not going to keep you from getting the coronavirus. It's not going to keep anybody else from getting the coronavirus or spreading the coronavirus. It may help you with the stress that goes along with knowing this coronavirus is out there, but it will not defend against the coronavirus. And so, this just shows you that even people with, and again, I don't know who this person is, but they must be somewhat big in Canada. I don't know. And I don't know what an unlicensed CBD in Canada, you probably have to do something different, or maybe it's CBD extracted from marijuana. And so it should be licensed. I don't even know what that really means in Canada, but we don't need anybody in the world spreading the rumor that CBD can help defend you against coronavirus. Do the things that will build your immune system up, and whatnot, and stay healthy. But CBD, that's one thing I don't think CBD can do. It does a lot for our customers, including dealing with anxiety and stress of the coronavirus, as well as daily anxiety and stress as it is. But, putting it in soap is not going to make that soap clean your hands any better. Any old soap will do. If you do a good cleaning, any old soap will do. And they said stop singing happy birthday and just sing for 20 to 30 seconds while you're washing your hand. Any song you want, just take the time to wash your hands good. Just do a surgical cleanse. That's how I was taught. I was taught a surgical cleanse. They're doctors. My mom was just like, "We're going to learn how to clean your hands correctly." And so I have always scrubbed in between my fingers, and I've always scrubbed my wrists and rinsed the same way that I've soaped. And so again, it's not an OCD thing. I just taught how to wash my hands surgically. My hands will always be be as clean as they can be, which we should all do anyway. Again, we've all been told this, whether it's flu season, cold season, germ season, this season, that season, ever, we're always spreading stuff. And keeping your hands clean is one of the best ways for you not to give it to yourself, because then you touch your hands, your face, boom, bob, beep, pop, you get it, or passing it on to someone else for that matter. And so, I feel like we're entering back into the best staking phase of the world, just as a general reminder that that's how we should be anyway. Last thing I've got in the news that I just read, is a good article, basically summarizing what certified seed means to the hemp industry. A certified seed can be considered a variety, not a strain. Okay, a variety. You have to have three things. You have to be distinct, you have to be uniform, and you have to be stable. So what that means is your hemp seed has to be a hemp plant that is like no other. Right now we have some varieties that have been around, Futura and some of those. Again, there are internationally recognized varieties of hemp seed that are grown for certain purposes, whether fiber, grain, this, that, across the world, have their own variety names. So they're distinct. Okay, then uniform means that it has to provide the if you look out into a hemp field and all those plants are in fact look the same height, general leaf structure is the same, seed buds are the same, whatever it is, then that means it's uniform. When you buy those certified seeds, you're getting that variety. It's not a mixed variety, so to speak. And the last one is probably the hardest one, especially for hemp, and that is it has to be stable. And so stable means that it has to produce the plant that it's supposed to produce every time. Say that once again is a 0.3% or less THC. That's where stable is becoming more difficult. It wasn't a big deal when we were growing for grain. It wasn't a big deal if we were growing for fiber for it to be stable, because that just meant that the grain was always that grain. They didn't necessarily care about the microscopisms of THC as much to the grain being the grain, or the fiber being the fiber as it is. But in the United States, once again, to be a certified variety, that you have to have those three things. And so that is what we're going through. I've been saying that for a while. That is the next boom or rush, I should say, in industrial hemp, is coming up with your own distinct variety, making it uniform and making it stable. The distinctive, that's semi-easy. The uniform, that's semi-easy too. The stable, that's a little bit more difficult. But that's what it's going to take, and that's what we need. To do what we need to do to get this treated like corn, like soy, like cotton, like every other agricultural crop out there. Is to have the certified variety available. I've already seen hemp crops, once again, if they test hot, then they're not stable, because they're not growing. If they were supposed to produce a 0.3% or less seed and they test hot, that's not stable. It could be uniform and it could be distinct, but it's not stable. And so that's the issue there with finding all these things that are in place. And we're still in between. We haven't done it, especially for the CBD. For grain or fiber, I think we can go there because they're already internationally available. So we just have to bring them here and use them and recognize them as certified in the United States, which is the true now rush to provide certified seed. That's and so, you know, we grew a lot of industrial hemp last year, so there was a lot of seed out there, not necessarily certified, but passed the tests. So it still came out 0.3% or less. You know, it doesn't have to be certified to be grown. It just has to pass the test to make it industrial hemp. And so, you know, and that's a good thing if you can trust the person selling you the seed. You know, it's one of those buyer bewares. It is a good thing to obviously allow that uncertified seed, so to speak, to be used as long as it passes the test. But that doesn't give you the insurance that you're going to get at the end what you paid for at the beginning. And so that's why seed to shelf, as they say, is becoming very important with the not just the industrial hemp cannabis, but medical cannabis, personal use cannabis, all of that it's doing that very thing. It's certifying seed to sale or seed to shelf, so to speak. And so that is all the news that I have. I did see someone had a question about CBD, so I'll answer that real quickly. And basically, they wanted to know the definition of the different kinds of CBD. So full spectrum. Full spectrum means that it has a little, or it has CBD in it, and then, you know, a little bit of THC, 0.3% or less. And then also all the other abilities, CBG, terpenes can be in there still. And most people are concerned about that 0.3% or less THC. So if you have any concerns over THC, even in the smallest amounts being in the product, and you want to stay away from full spectrum, okay? Then we have broad spectrum. What they've done with broad spectrum is they've removed the THC but left everything else. And so if you're concerned about that trace amount of THC, but you still want terpenes and the other cannabinoids that we're seeing show up, as well as the CBD, then broad spectrum is what you're looking for. And then you have the isolate. And the isolate is just, it's really 99.9% CBD. And if they put that in the tincture or a gummy or whatever, then again, all you're getting is CBD. You're not going to get any terpenes. You're not going to get any flavonoids. You're not going to get any of the other cannabinoids that are part of the full spectrum or even the broad spectrum part. And so, you know, some people are finding that if that's all they need, that's what they use. And those are, if you're really, really concerned about anything else, messing anything up, then you want to use the isolate. But the broad spectrum is safe for those people concerned about the THC because, you know, but it still has everything else. And then the full spectrum is everything. And so you are, you know, you're getting what they're calling in the industry the entourage effect. And that is, you know, because we have all of these other cannabinoids, terpenes, flavonoids, all these things working together, that it works better as a group than it does just on its own. You know, there's still some science to be developed there, and I'm sure, I feel like I want to believe that's true. Just as much as I want to believe that if you're, you know, using the isolate, that you're getting what you need from the CBD, regardless of whether there's the other, the entourage effect or not. And so, but that's it. That's the three common ones. You'll see that it should be your CBD product should be labeled, or should you, whether it's full spectrum, broad spectrum, or the isolate. If it says no THC, you can just go ahead and assume that it's isolate, but it could still be broad spectrum. But again, you know, and so, you know, there might be a little confusion there, but it has to definitely be one of those two. It cannot be full spectrum. if they're claiming 0% THC. And so that is it. That is the High Noon Hemp Show. Remember, you can go to hemptations.com for more stuff you want. You can shop online through the button there if you do not want to go out. And if you have any products that we sell in the stores that you don't want to necessarily get out and have to buy, then let me know. Email me, which you can do through the website as well, or at hemptations@yahoo.com. And I'll be happy to add them, and then we can ship them out, and we can have no contact. And that's that is what it is, folks. So remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else on Happy Temptations.
Stay safe. See y'all next week.